Hello, everyone. This is Coach Mike Ronchetti, and I'm excited to have a fellow business owner from Indiana with me today. It's my pleasure to welcome Leon Miller to the show. Hello, Leon.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I hope it's going well for you because we're going to hear about you for the next few minutes and looking forward to hearing about everything you're doing. So let's start out. Introduce yourself. Give me a little bit of bio background, where you're born, where you're living now, about your family, some hobbies. And I always like to ask a question, tell me a funny story that people talk about you about.
Just grew up Amish in Bremen, Indiana. Um, Currently living in Bourbon, which is not too far. Uh, working work in Plymouth. Is where the location's at. Um, I don't know. Been married for 2 years now, um, and yeah, just love hunting, deer hunting, and if I get time. Last year I didn't have much time on for that, but still try to get out and do it and connect with nature and so forth. Um,
Funny story? Yes, there's always one.
so, so we were discussing on that earlier as I was talking with Carter on that. So it's a yeah, it's unique and it's a back when I was 11, 12 years old, we were I went to ask a neighbor Eddie, which his name is Eddie, and went to ask him about hunting on his property. And got there, and they walked into his office. And I seen a bag of potato chips laying on his desk there, and I just kind of asked him, "Hey, can I have some potato chips?" I hadn't eaten anything that morning or that day yet, and I was 11, 12 years old. I biked over there, and it was far ways. I mean, growing up as a little Amish kid, there's you get your you get all your exercise because when you're biking 6, 7 miles, then you know. Anyways, started eating the bag of potato chips. Pretty soon they were gone, and Eddie was like, "Man, the nerve that he has coming in here eating all my potato chips, coming and asking me for hunting on his property, and then eating my bag of potato chips." And so through that, um, it was probably got some notes here on this because this was he never lets me forget about this whole thing. Um, Eddie let me hunt. Said, "Yeah, go ahead." So about 10 years later, 2018, I went back to talk to him about um, doing some property on doing some work on a property that he had that I had asked about hunting. The years in previous, we were doing some habitat work, land management, um, and he had I stopped in to talk to him about doing some work on the property, and his son Derek, which is a business partner of mine, just made the remark, "Hey, if you ever looking to hire, just let me know." I was like, "I'm not looking to hire. I'm looking for more of a business partner than anything." And so a couple months later, he was still working there at Cornerstone Molding, um, and he was like, we met up, talked about tag out technique, and that's how that's how that company started. I was doing it individually, doing it on my own on the other stuff, and so um, yeah, it was from there. From there, from there, it was a couple of years later. I mean, Eddie's now a mentor of mine, has been for quite some time. Um, and I hadn't remembered about the chips or whatever. That I ate a bag of chips, but that was something that he always remembered because that was that first day or whatever that he whatever had knew who I was, but didn't know who I was because it
Yeah.
was a more of a distance neighbor. Um, and so he never let this lay or whatever. So was a couple of years after that. I was getting married, um, and the potato chip story was still around. It was still so that day when I was walking down the aisle with the preacher to go up to get married, I had the ushers put him on the aisle side. So that day that I gave him his bag of potato chips back, which he ended up then eating when they were sitting at the table for dinner. So before they went up to eat, so it worked out well, and that's what I guess that's the potato chip story of how that and how it was how something that happened back when I was a little kid ended up in a way of to now him being a mentor in my life and
Yeah.
son being a part like being partners and we're like family together.
Uh,
Uh, and so that's kind of what we on that part. So
wow. What a story. You kind of like breaking bread together early on in many ways as far as getting along and sharing together some food. That's nice.
yeah, all over a bag of potato chips. So the next time that you have a bag of potato chips with somebody, you never know. It could change your life.
I love that story. Thank you, Leon. So you mentioned your obviously your kind of formation. Also, you mentioned a couple other businesses. Tell us a bit about how your business, the main business that you're running today, came about, and at what point did you have the confidence that you could actually run that type of business?
I had previously started when we were doing tag out technique and stuff like that. So I had previously, done that, and that's kind of how we've seen a need for the equipment, bigger equipment or whatever in the food plot, like in the clearing and stuff like that, that we could the end product. I wasn't happy with the end product, but it was too much of a risk to bring that in on tag out technique, as it was still a growing company and still a young company. That we made the decision that it was better off separating the two so that it wouldn't be the risk on
Okay.
tag out technique. And that was something that to where Derek and I partners on tag out technique. He's got the majority of tag out technique now or whatever, and then I went on with the BrushTamer thing. But we're still partners in that still. And so I started that in the spring of 2021. Um, the BrushTamer part on, and through that there was also a need for and doing blueberry clearing up in Michigan, stuff like that, doing land clearing. So we're doing quite a bit of land clearing. I mean, that's the main thing is we do land clearing projects. Is it, something that people have 80-acre properties and they want the fence lines either completely ripped out or and put into farm ground, or if they just want them trimmed up and make it look nice all the way around.
Hmm.
We can do either or. We can take a full mature timbered woods and turn it into farm ground and in a pretty short amount of time.
Really? Okay. So bear with me here. I do want you to tell me about the brush tamer business, but tag out techniques. What does that do?
So tag out technique, we started out as the habitat, as what I had previously mentioned, taking care of hunting properties. For an example, if business owners that don't have time, they're always busy in their business. They're always, they don't have time to go out and take care of their property or their hunting property, to get their stands ready, to get their blinds ready, or to put in their food plots, to take care of what it takes to then go out and enjoy the hunting when it comes to hunting.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that they can, I mean, there's different guys that you know, they've got a property and they don't they don't have time to do anything on it or whatever that year, but then they can take their kids out and enjoy their time together and not have to worry about after work to go out and do all that work yet and it becoming a burden. That way they can focus on what they're doing through the day and what they're good at, and leave the rest of leave the rest to us, to where we take care of all the maintenance, all the plantings, all the food plot plantings, trail cameras, all that stuff like that. Get that all put in for them. Put up their blinds. We sell a lot of double drop hunting blinds. So it's a service. It was a service for a need that was at first, back when we started. It was like, it's never gonna go. It's never gonna work because there's who's gonna pay for that. But there's the more and the more people. I mean, they wanted that because it's something that they can, they've got their hunting properties and it's October. It's ready to, they can go hunting with their kids and stuff like that. And everything's done. Everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
And so it's transition. We've, do pretty much have the same amount of, clients that we always do their yearly thing. I mean, that's a given. And then we also do a lot of selling, of food plot products, hunting products, stuff like that. That was previously another company that was started up, but Tag Out Technique actually bought that one out so that it's like a call center, so that people can call in, cater a lot to the Amish communities and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That when they call in to order the products, they're calling into Kenny, to where he can, they're actually talking to somebody. Hey, this is what I want to order. We created a magazine. We do a lot of advertising in different magazines or whatever that reach the Amish communities. And then through that, we also came up with our own magazine that we put out that people can order the product magazine. So they can always, when they call in to order products, they're always speaking to somebody, put in their orders in customer service. So we ship, all over the U.S. for that.
Okay. How many years has that been going? I want to get to BrushTamer, but you're tell me I call it the parent child. Yes.
Tag Out Technique was 2018 was when we started that. So
wow.
a couple months after we started or that I met Derek or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was originally doing that kind of stuff, I had my own name or whatever, but then we came up with a different name that made more sense or whatever. So that's when we started Tag Out Technique.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So thanks for that background about that company. Now tell me about BrushTamer, because obviously, like you said, you have a mechanical side of service delivery for Tag Out Technique, but it sounds like it's heavier lifting, heavier equipment required, and thus you kind of are running completely with a new model here, which is exciting. Tell me about that.
The BrushTamer side of it was where the need of the equipment and that part there. It was just Tag Out Technique. It was too big of a risk to put that on Tag Out Technique,
mm-hmm.
And so I did that on my own on that one. And to go out and do, we still do both companies still do land clearing jobs, and just depending on what it is, where it is, or whatever, the one does it and the other one does. We still help each other out at the end, whatever we're doing. It's more special in BrushTamer. There's more specialized equipment to do things. The and that's kind of, I mean, where we clear a bunch of blueberry ground, stuff like that up in Michigan, and yeah, just do different projects. Tag out technique does, you know, a lot of fencing projects as well,
Mm.
stuff like that. But I mean, that's kind of in a transition. Um, they're actually putting up. They're going to be moving in. So far that hasn't been in a storefront tag out technique.
Mm-hmm.
May they're moving into the new storefront. So that's exciting to have a whole new storefront for them because we sell products and everything else. But everything's been done with no storefront
Wow.
up till now. So um,
Where's Tag Out Techniques store at then? What city?
here in Plymouth.
It
Here
is
in
from Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Okay. And is that the same place where are you associated with that with your BrushTamer having your equipment stored there, or are you totally different shop?
Yeah, we're here as well. Yeah, it's
Okay.
more of just a warehouse. I mean, we're selling to a lot of right now. I mean, it's mostly, I call it Amish online,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense.
Yeah.
That's where we're selling to the. I mean, majority of the stuff gets sold like that.
Good. Good. Okay. So BrushTamer, then obviously you discovered that hey, you have a lot of opportunity geographically. I mean, because I assume do you have a limit of how far you can go with that?
We do. I mean, depending on the job, if it's a specialty job, we do go further. But we're up in. Um, I mean, between Michigan, Indiana, Ohio,
Okay.
Illinois. I mean, Illinois is not that far from here.
No. Mhm. Okay. Are you year round, or how many months of the year do you operate that?
It depends on what winters we have, what what that looks like. If we have, you know, this winter's been a pretty hard winter, but our whole thing is kind of based like a farmer. When it's go time, it's go time,
Mm-hmm.
um, and to yeah, kind of throughout that part there. Um, so it's also weather dependent.
Yeah.
Um,
Got it. Okay. So, um, get overview. Is BrushTamer, a band of people, or is it just basically you and
we've got a
left-hand person?
yeah, there's a couple of us in BrushTamer, and we're growing. I mean, that one was started in 2021, so we're adding people through um, where we need and where um, yeah. So that one's in still in the growing stages of where we're adding people, and it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense financially and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but no, we can tear a lot of things up, um, and if we need to, I mean, I'll have, I mean, some of the tag out guys, we help each other out there too.
Okay.
So we can go from a 3-man crew or to a 5-man crew and whatever's needed on the job.
Got it. But let's just say your average crew is your size of your organization is 10 people at the most, or whatever. Or is it much smaller than that, or bigger?
For BrushTamers, just 3 of us currently.
Three. Got it. Got it. Okay. That keeps the machines rolling. So
Yeah.
that's got it.
Yep.
Okay. Good. So thank you for that background about that. Anyone listening, basically check out their company website at the link below our YouTube effort here. And in this case, looking forward to having your comments on LinkedIn or wherever you're watching this about the interview. I appreciate that. So I'm going to change, Leon, a little bit from the company to actually you. So
Mm-hmm.
share with me somebody who's pushed you, and you can name a name if you want, or just in your mind imagine them exactly, and pushed or inspired you that you could do it and you can make this happen. They really were impactful. I mean, is there one or two people in mind, family, friend, whatever? You might have already mentioned the person's name, but or just even right moment in time, they said, yes, you can make this happen.
And if I think that I guess on that part, it was a lot on the people that you have around the people that I have around me. Um, that's probably the biggest thing on that. Yeah, we were. I mean, there's multiple of them. I trying to um, trying to think of one specific one to go to on that. Um, that's been. I mean, Derek. I mean, business partners, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The I don't know. It's that one was a little bit of a tough
Yeah.
one
No,
to
no,
think
no,
of
no.
how to. Yeah, I'd say it's a lot about the people that have around you. I mean, I've got a lot of the interactions with customers. We're very blessed with the customers that we have, and the people that we're dealing with, and they're just that's the one thing that I was just talking to Zach about yesterday again when we were on the way home is, the customers is our customers that we have are just very good people, and we couldn't be more blessed to have them as customers, and learning new things and values in life. And sometimes when you're going through things and you talk to them or whatever, and they give you the different outlook or perspective of something, and just a relationship. Yeah, on that.
No, appreciate that candor about that. And I realize that in the case of tag out techniques, you can say, hey, our target initial audience is the Amish community. Is your other organization more diverse than that, or is it strictly you're also a lot of most of your clients are Amish family farmers and
No, it's more diverse than
okay, got it.
it goes into any. I mean, and tag out technique is also switching to that. That there's like that we can reach other people as well. But that was something that we went into and just did that thing for a while on the call center.
Got it. Got it. Okay. No, only because obviously there's a lot of power amongst business owners with the Amish community as well as, but also you guys are looked out and said, hold it, we have something that other people will enjoy, and you're engaging in a lot of different problem solving, I call it. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, no,
yeah, and your tools can be used for a lot of different solving of problems rather than just one rinse and repeat. So yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the biggest learning you have had as a business owner?
For that I would say hire as a business owner. It's hiring people that your weakness is their strength. That's probably the one of the biggest thing is, um, for an example, if you're struggling with office, paperwork,
Yeah.
stuff like that, don't hire a sales guy. Hire somebody that's good at what you're not good at. I mean,
Got
it's
it.
always as business owners. I think we're always trying to do better. I'm not like there's always trying to you know to do better, and even if it's something that we're hiring them, and it's not that we're not working on that, but it's not. We've also got to let that that's a weakness. We can't be good at everything. We can't be good at whatever. So for me, for an example, in Zach, I mean, he's very detail oriented, like as far as when it comes to organization. And for me, that completes me in a lot of ways. That's has me more efficient, more effective.
Hmm.
and it's yes, it's a weakness, but it's also it's his strength, and that so it's part of the team. We're part of, and that's recognizing our weaknesses and our strengths is probably one of the biggest things. I mean, pride, gotta lay down your pride to do it. I mean,
Thanks. Those are great answers. I appreciate that. And I know our listeners will be appreciative too. So, as you think about your next 1 to 3 years, what's your number one point of growth or your challenge you want to have that's going to be something that you can achieve your goals with by getting over those challenges? What do you think?
um, I would say weather, um, staying busy and during the nice weather. I mean, staying as far as keeping the between weather and busyness, keeping that calculated. Um, the mm, I don't know. There's I mean there's always challenges coming. I mean coming through every day. But that's I mean that's probably one of the biggest things there.
Now I need to have you give me a little more explanation of that. When you say weather, obviously you're weather driven, meaning a rain season or whatever, you're a storm, you shut down for the day. Certain moisture in the ground, you're making mush rather than driving over safely and patting things down the way you want it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So for currently, like right now, we're like it's been raining. It rained quite a bit the last couple days or whatever.
Yeah,
So right now, I can't take the tractor and the mulcher in the field because I'll be having to pull it out of the mud for it being stuck.
right.
Um, and um, yeah, so that's kind of like where that is. Where I'm, and that has been a learning curve. More than ever. One of the learning things this year is it's gotta be more. Got to get down to it more, even more than I was in when the sun's shining and when the weather's nice.
Hmm.
Um, and it's finding a balance. I think in this situation, it's finding. I understand it because I worked for a farmer for 2 years, and how the farming life works. But it's finding that spot between the two, between because you having team members, employees, and stuff like that, and you can't expect them to do to go the full hours of a day and stuff like that. So it's finding a balance in between those is probably one of the biggest struggles on that, because I don't want to wear out the key people in the company that they don't want to work here no more,
Yeah,
and also get the work done that needs to be done
the window, time
in the
window.
window.
Yeah, yeah. No, so obviously, like you use the analogy of farmers, obviously farmers delegating to a team of people who are employees versus a farmer who has a passion to, hey, I'll work my 14-hour days when I have to, and I'll sit back and trim in the summer or winter and do little, or if it starts raining, I'll go into the shop and work on machines or whatever. It's different when you have a crew of people who you're trying to say, okay, we need 40 hours or whatever out of you a week, and here's how we're going to schedule you, and you're crossing your fingers at, or some days might be three 12-hour days. I don't know how you do your thing, but
Right.
uh,
I mean
is,
that's the I mean because when they're wore out, I mean it's a fine. It's I guess it's a fine. I mean there's a line there. I mean
yeah,
there's
we know that business success isn't done in isolation. Tell us about the biggest challenge during the years and a fellow business owner who helped you get through those. I didn't want to jump it, but I wanted to respect the time that we got assigned to you. So go ahead.
oh no, that's I mean yeah, either way on that. The
Do you have somebody in
um
mind?
yes, I actually do. The so one of the things was um uh co-owner, like, in Tag Out Derek, his insights talking through challenges.
Yeah.
Um and also, um the 3 people you asked about, 3 key people or whatever.
Yeah.
In that, and like that would be Zach, which he's what I told you that he does a lot of the organizing stuff like that. And then also Dave from Timberline Team. He has come in and has a lot of the things that I had struggled with, and put that in order, and has helped me through a lot of that. And then also through him, I also found Carter, which he does a lot of. He's my office guy.
Fantastic.
And tremendous on that. And so those are key. Some key people through that, in the current company. Carter's strengths and weaknesses are completely different than, but when it comes to, yeah. So he's got a degree in, he went to college on some of the stuff or whatever, but he knows a lot of stuff that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can help me make decisions on stuff that, more calculated decisions versus shooting from the hip.
Got it.
So
yeah. No. You're absolutely right. It kind of leads to my next kind of almost final question here is that Jim Rome, who's a business coach, a legend in our world, who's been just passed away a year or two ago, but he had a phrase of you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And basically, so my question to you is, what's your advice when you have people you run into, business owners in particular, who says, well, I'm going to do it on my own?
If you're gonna do it on your own, good luck. I'd hate to do it without God, without faith.
Yeah,
that's your number one.
Mm-hmm.
You will have failures and hardships. Learn from them, move on. Yeah, the biggest thing would be, don't do it without God.
Mm-hmm.
But but also surround yourself with people that, that aren't going to drag. How do I want to say it? That are there for you and can help you through the dark times.
Got it.
Because it ain't all sunshine and rainbows. I can tell you that.
Especially in a business like yours, it's very weather related. I love that.
Yeah.
So, got it. Hey, Leon, it's really been a pleasure working with you on this conversation and talking about this. And just, I just really want to kind of wrap up the show and just say, hey, thank you very much for being on the show. And I appreciate this. So, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.